Okay, guys, once again, I welcome you to my lesson for today. Hopefully, you will enjoy the lesson for today, where we'll be looking at trigonometry. So, guys, just to get a feedback from your side, can you just confirm for the last time if everything is clear? And again, make sure to unmute, comment, mute your mic.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So I suppose we are all on the same page. So obviously, guys, you have noticed that I've sent through some information in the group. So all that I send in the group is what I need you to understand in today's lesson. So just make sure that you understand everything that I explain. You don't necessarily need to stress that much. Obviously, as I always say, you will understand better as we solve exam type of problems. But before I start with today's lesson, guys, please do allow me to say it's very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that I say it's very, very much important, because what I'm about to say is massively important. Guys, a day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. I hope by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. So, guys, obviously, for today's lesson, as I indicated, we'll be looking at I missed something over there. It should be trigonometry. So, guys, the only thing that you need for today's lesson, I think it should be a calculator. If possible, you can still write down some notes, but remember, I've made those notes and sent in the group. There are some notes that I'm still busy preparing, of which when I'm done, I'll still send through in the group. So, guys, in trigonometry, we study the relationship between sides and angles. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be looking mostly at a triangle. I'm just not sure if you guys are aware of something. Trigonometry, it's a word which is derived from Greek words. I think trigonon, it refers to something, and then metry, it refers to something, but it's something that has to do with the angles or the sides. And again, in short, trigonometry, we are just studying the relationship between the sides and the angles. What I've explained, it doesn't really matter that much, but you just need to be aware that when we talk about the sides, guys, can you see in a triangle, we've got that side. This is a side, guys. This is what we call a side. And again, we've got that side. So this is another side. And again, we have got that side. This is another side. Where are the angles? These are the angles, guys. We've got an angle there, which we can call angle theta. We've got an angle there, which we can call it angle beta. So that angle, it's a 90-degree angle. So that means this line is perpendicular to that line. Therefore, it forms a 90-degree angle. So even if you draw a line at that angle and you draw another one at that angle, for as long as that line and that line are perpendicular to each other, they form a right-angled triangle. So in this case, we've got two sides, 1, 2, 1, 2, therefore one angle. The moment you join those two sides, then you've got another side. You therefore have two more angles. So, guys, let's now continue with our lesson for today. Remember, guys, at all times, in case if I haven't asked a question, make sure that your mic is muted. If I mute it from my side, you will never be able to comment until the end of this lesson. So, ladies and gentlemen, under Unit 1, we look at a right-angled triangle. So, Unit 1 is posted there in the group. So that's why we look at right-angled triangle. So I'm just going to make sure that you guys participate so that you fully understand everything. Remember, guys, this is what we have, and I just want to make sure that you still remember this thing, guys. Y-axis. Someone who wants to tell me what is this? Remember, if you want to give it a try, you just mention your name. You just say, Desmond, this is whatever.
Yes, Cartesian plane.
Say about this is a Cartesian plane.
100%. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call a Cartesian plane. So, how many quadrants do we have on a Cartesian plane?
Let's say 4 quadrants.
100%. So let's say this is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is quadrant number 3, and this is quadrant number 4. So can you see, guys, that means everything that I'm going to be explaining, it will be explained on a Cartesian plane. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So obviously you are aware that that angle there, it's 0. That one over there, obviously, it's 90 degrees. So remember, guys, when we say this angle, it's 0, everything is referenced from that point over there. So that means the angle which is 0 is within that x-axis. So the moment we increase, or let's say, let me do this. I hope it's going to make sense, guys. So this angle, it's 0. Then when we rotate that marking pen in an anti-clockwise direction. Remember, anti-clockwise is that one, clockwise is this one. So can you see, we increase the angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 60, 60 something, 67, 89, 90. So that is the angle which is 90. Then we increase it again. Let me just check. I'm not sure. Ncha, who please make sure to mute your mic. Guys, please make sure to mute your mic in case if you are not answering a question. If I mute it from my side, Ncha, you won't be able to participate until the end of the lesson. So let's now increase the angle. So from there, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, whatever, up until that angle. So what is that angle, guys?
180, sir.
180 degrees.
180 degrees.
100%. 100%. It's 180 degrees. So from there, let's continue, guys. Remember, the movement is
360 degrees.
Anti-clockwise. Up to there. What is that angle, guys?
360 degrees.
270.
270 degrees. So from 270, let's go up to the last point. Obviously, we know this is 360 degrees. At all times, guys, remember, when you say 1, it's not an angle. The moment you say degrees, it becomes an angle. So when you say 2, it's not an angle until you say degrees, then it's an angle because it's 2 degrees. Only when it's a letter, which could be A, you don't need to say A degrees. When you say A, we know it represents a certain number, which is an angle, which could be 4 degrees. Be very, very careful of that, guys. Be very, very careful of that. So I don't only want to teach you how to understand these things, but also to represent them when you write. So I want to make you guys aware of something. So let me just use a different marker over there. So remember, I was rotating the marker in that direction. So this is a line, for example, that I was using, not necessarily a line, but for me to rotate that marker, it rotated along these broken lines until I got to all of these angles that you mentioned. I hope you understand that part, guys, up until I got to 360. So this is a rotation about the origin. So that means everything, the angle which is formed from the origin. So let me explain something. For example, let's say maybe when the marker, when I was rotating it, it was somewhere along that line. Somewhere along that line. So, guys, this line, it has a name. We call it a terminal side. So this is something that you just need to be aware of. This is what we call a terminal side. Okay? The second thing that I need you guys to be aware of is the angle formed. So the angle formed, guys, is that angle. That's why the arrow, it starts from that 0 line, and then we say it was increasing in that direction of anti-clockwise. So that means when that line was somewhere there, then this is what we call the terminal side. And the angle formed is from that same line up to that line over there. So again, when that line, let's say it was somewhere there, this is the terminal side. And the angle formed, you can just make that line anyway. So let's just maybe from there up to there. So let's say between terminal side 1, terminal side 2, terminal side 3, we've got angles formed. What do we call those angles? Those angle formed, guys. We call them inclination angle. So this angle is called inclination angle, inclination angle, inclination angle. So just be aware of that inclination angle. Ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, are we all on the same page, or is there someone who's lost at this point in time?
No, sir.
No, sir.
100%. So let's now continue. Was
Sir,
that
I
a
have a
question? Okay,
Yes,
what's
sir, I have
the
a question.
question?
So, sir, the angles formed in the first quadrant are called the inclination angles, or for all the angles formed in each quadrant are called the inclination angles? Is it for the first quadrant?
A very good question, guys. So in answering that question, Lerato, I think obviously because we are dealing with a triangle. For example, it could be a triangle similar to that. So it seems like if we've got a 90-degree angle over there, so that angle and that angle, it's obviously less than 90 degrees, which means it falls under first quadrant. So for now, let me take it as my homework to actually find out if that angle from that line up to there? Is it what we call an inclination angle only when it's within a first quadrant? But my guess is that even if we have a line from the origin up to there, the angle which is formed is from that zero line all the way up to there. So it should be inclination angle. So it doesn't necessarily mean that because it's only in the first quadrant, then it's inclination angle. Then when it's on quadrant number 2, it's been called something else. So for now, Lerato, no need to stress that much about what about in this quadrant or that quadrant or that quadrant. Let's just say for now, we know that the angle which is being formed as we make a rotation, we call it a inclination angle. So I'll just do my homework and confirm for you what you've just asked. So I like that type of a question because it also gives us a bit of a challenge. In case if there's someone who knows who has attended this lesson, you are welcome to also share your opinion. Because remember, guys, the reason why I like this type of lessons is because we are from different schools, we are on different levels in terms of understanding, and again, some of you guys are almost done with this chapter, so we will learn from each other. So Lerato, what I've just said, is it fine for now? Are you happy with my response?
Yes, sir, it's fine.
Okay, 100%. So guys, I'm about to remove all of this. I've explained all that I wanted to explain in relation to this information based on a Cartesian plane. But just so that we include everything, if I remember, all angles which are in the first quadrant are called acute angles. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
What about in second quadrant?
They are obtuse, sir.
100% obtuse angles. So that means angles like a 91 up to is it 179, which are called obtuse angles. So what about in quadrant number 3? What do we call those type of angles?
Reflex angles, sir. I'm not sure.
Anyone who still remember?
I'm not sure, sir. Is it an isosceles?
Okay, so we'll just leave it for now, and then I'll give it as your homework. So you can just easily Google it or somehow find it from another textbook. So this is homework number 1. You just comment in the group. Even if you find it in the middle of the lesson, don't tell us what it is, guys. Make sure to comment in the group. You just say third quadrant angles are called whatever, fourth quadrant angles are called whatever. So just make sure to comment. So we'll see that the ones with the same response, it means that is the correct one. So guys, write it down as homework number 1. Make sure not to miss that part. So I'm now removing everything, then we continue with this lesson. So remember, guys, it is highly advisable that if possible, stay until the end of the lesson, because if you go halfway with this lesson and don't catch up, you won't understand upcoming lessons. I want to cover everything for this chapter so that when we solve exam type of questions, you fully understand and you are following. So most importantly, guys, in a right angled triangle. Remember, it is necessary for me to say in a right angled triangle. Why do I have to mention that? Is because you can have that triangle, and again, you can have that triangle. So this is triangle number 1. This is triangle number 2. Between triangle number 1 and 2, which one is a right-angled triangle?
Number 1.
Number 1, sir.
Number 1, sir.
100%. So everything that I'm going to be saying is based on a right-angled triangle and not that one. Why? Because it is not a right-angled triangle. So everything that I'm going to be talking about now is based on a right-angled triangle. Did you get that part, guys? A right-angled triangle. Okay, so in a right-angled triangle, each side has a specific name. So let me just draw that right-angled triangle. Remember, guys, everything that I'm explaining is in those notes that I sent you guys in the group. Please make sure, guys, that you study those notes in relation to the lesson. So you now have two options. You can either refer to the notes, otherwise you can just watch this lesson again. So it helps when you watch the lesson because you always discover something new as you watch the lesson. So listen to what I'm saying, guys. Each side has a specific name. So how many sides do we have in a right-angled triangle? We have 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. So each side has a specific name. What are those sides, guys? We know we've got a, what is it?
Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse. We have adjacent.
Opposite.
We have opposite. 100%. So let's say this is A, this is B, this is C. So at this point in time, guys, which one or which side is hypotenuse?
It's B.
B, sir.
So B is
There are sides,
hypotenuse.
that's the B side.
So how do you see that B is hypotenuse?
It's the longest side.
This is the longest side.
The right angle.
The right
angle.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the reason why you say this side is hypotenuse is not because it's the longest side. I'm just teaching you how to say it. You are right, hypotenuse is the longest side, but you don't say this is hypotenuse because it is the longest side. I'll just try to think of an example that is relevant. So you say this is hypotenuse because it's opposite to the right angle. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I'm simply trying to say it's hypotenuse because it's opposite to the 90-degree angle. So now that we are able to identify our hypotenuse, we can therefore say, in addition to that, hypotenuse is the longest side. That's why I was saying you are right. So hypotenuse is always opposite to the 90-degree angle, which means if you can have something similar to that, which one, guys, is a hypotenuse from that triangle? Let's say 1, 2, 3. Which one is a hypotenuse?
There's no opposite.
There's no hypotenuse.
100%.
Hypotenuse.
So in short, you just say you are not able to tell which one is a hypotenuse because you don't know where is the right angled triangle. Because sometimes you can find that this is a right angled triangle. You are just not aware that the 90-degree angle is there. Can you see, guys? So that's why I'm saying maybe do not say there's no hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is there. When I say which one is hypotenuse, you just say, I'm not able to tell because I'm not sure if this is a right-angled triangle. And again, if it is a right-angled triangle, I need to know where 90-degree angle. Then I will tell where or which side is hypotenuse. Why? Because you know hypotenuse is always opposite to the 90-degree angle. Guys, are you happy with that statement? Does it make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
100%. So you will have a better understanding as we move to this one. So for both of these guys, I'm expecting a similar response. Guys, which one is adjacent? Which side is adjacent? Obviously, we've got A and B. But now I need to know which one.
C, sir.
C.
C.
Remember to mention your name and tell which one is adjacent, which one yes, which side is adjacent between A and C?
It's adjacent
Yes.
and
C.
A is opportunity.
Hey, I think I'm hearing someone mentioning opportunities. Where are the opportunities, guys? Remember to mention your name and make a comment, because if I notice there's someone who's almost there, I will guide you to get it right. Guys, between A and B, which one is adjacent? Or which side is adjacent?
C.
Lera,
B
Yeah.
is adjacent.
C.
sir.
What the answer is C. Adjacent is C.
Okay, it's fine. Guys, all of you are completely wrong. Wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, you are completely wrong. Wrong. The reason why I'm saying this, I don't want you to ever forget this, guys. Guys, you are completely wrong. Wrong. Is there someone who agrees with me when I say you guys are wrong?
No, sir.
Oh, Miss.
So let me explain why I'm saying you guys are wrong. Remember, guys, if I draw that and say 1, 2, 3, I said for this triangle, which one is a hypotenuse?
2.
2, sir.
I think there is no hypotenuse because there is no 90-degree angle.
Lerato,
There is no
100%.
hypotenuse.
Sia, 100%. Guys, be very careful. Be very careful. You don't see a right angled, or let me say, you don't see a 90 degrees there. You are just guessing that is that one. So if I say which one is hypotenuse, because you don't have a reason for number 2 to be hypotenuse, then say it's not a hypotenuse, or say you are not sure which one is hypotenuse, or otherwise say firstly tell me, say, which one is a 90-degree angle. Then only after I say this is a 90-degree angle, then you can say, oh, that means number 2 is a hypotenuse. Why? Because hypotenuse is opposite to the 90-degree angle. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now in short, I'm saying you must have a reason for you to say this is a hypotenuse. Let's now come to a what is it? Adjacent. So if this is a 90 degree, let's say I've got 1, 2, and 3. If I say which one is adjacent, you cannot know which side is adjacent because you don't know where is the reference angle. So you can only tell which side between 3 and 1 is adjacent side if I say the angle is there, or if I say the angle is there. But if I don't write those angles, you cannot tell which one is adjacent, guys. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So do you see why I was saying all of you guys were wrong with that first answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me now help you to identify a let me just draw that, do this. Obviously we know 1, 2, 3. We know one is hypotenuse. We know the reason why we say it's hypotenuse is because it's opposite to the 90-degree angle. So if we have an angle there, angle alpha, between 1 and 3, which one is opposite?
Angle 3,
3,
sir.
sir.
Which one is adjacent?
3. It's 2.
2, sir.
How do you see that 2 is adjacent?
It joins a given angle to right angle.
So, in short,
Cos is next.
It's next to the alpha.
It is closer to the angle.
So
So it's next to the alpha.
it's closer to the angle, ne?
Say
Okay,
it joins.
it's fine. I'm glad you are able to say something. So, this is 90-degree angle. We know this is hypotenuse. If the angle is there, then in short, guys, adjacent is always next to the um, 90-degree angle. You can just say that way, to say adjacent side is always next to the what is it, 90-degree angle, or next to the angle. You are right. Where is the angle? This is that angle. So this side is the adjacent side. Obviously that one is opposite. So everyone is happy with that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay, so now that we know, if let's say this is angle alpha and then that one is theta, let's say you see, now I'm very much happy that you at this stage you understand which one is hypotenuse, which one is adjacent, which one is opposite. So what I'm going to teach you now, if you can fully understand this part, you will never get confused by the question. Even when examiner wants to trick you, you will never fall in the trap. So let's say this is A, this is B, this is C. So we've got those two. How many angles do we have in there, guys?
2 angles, sir. 3. 3 angles.
3 angles, sir.
Three angles.
2
Yes, 3 angles.
Okay, so guys, in a triangle, Lerato, we have 3 angles. In a triangle, guys, we have 3 sides. Never forget this. 3 angles, 3 sides. Which one is the first angle? Is alpha. We've got the other angle there. We've got 90. Remember, 90 is also it's also an angle. For the fact that we say 90 degrees, it's an angle. So in a triangle, we've got 3 angles. So you can see it's 3 points, 3 sides, 3 angles. That is a triangle. So what I want to explain to you guys is that This thing, the whole of this thing, is called triangle A, B, and C. So if we want to talk about that angle, we are going to say in triangle A, B, and C with angle B, A, C. So this is something that you need to interpret, guys. If they write in this manner, they are simply saying, forget about that angle and concentrate on angle A. So the letter which is being written in between is the angle that they are referring to. So B and C, it simply means in triangle A that considering angle at point A. I'm not sure if it makes sense, guys. So it's more like now we are talking about that angle there with a theta, where the point is A, we still have B, we still have C. Guys, does it make sense what I've explained, or is it a bit confusing?
Can you please
Sir,
repeat
can you
this?
please?
Okay, so let me try to explain it again in a different manner. Remember, in a triangle, we have three angles, but then now we just need to know this is 90-degree angle, but between angle theta and angle beta. If we want to talk only about angle beta, so we are going to say this is triangle A, B, and C. Do you guys agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in this triangle A, B, and C, we just want to calculate, or we just want to focus on that angle beta. So they are going to say in triangle A, B, and C, angle A, C, B, angle ACB. When they say angle ABC, they are simply saying we now focus on angle AAC. We have BC. So now we are only concentrating on that triangle. So the letter which is written in between or in the middle is the angle that we are referring to in triangle A, B, and C. I'm not sure if it's now making a sense. I will still explain differently again. But does it make sense what I've explained just now?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I go. Found the phone.
100%. So the reason why they normally like to specify the triangle is because sometimes you can have, let's say, something similar to that. And we have A, we have B, C, A, and D. Let's say maybe there we have 90-degree angle. So the moment they say in triangle A, B, and D, can you see, guys? That means we are now talking about that A, B up to D. So this is the triangle that we are talking about. We therefore forget about that line in between. Then they continue to say in triangle ABD with angle, let's say A, D, and B. Then we know that, okay, in that angle, we are now talking about that angle D over there. I'm not sure if it makes sense, guys. So now it's more like we are talking about A, B, A, and D, and there is the angle, there is 90 degrees. We know this is adjacent, hypotenuse, opposite. Guys, does that part make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
I promise you guys, only if you can fully understand this part, you will never get it wrong. Because the reason why you get it wrong is a failing to interpret the given statement. But the moment you are able to interpret the given statement, you will never, you will never go wrong. I can promise you on that one, guys. So just make sure that at all times you fully understand what the question says, especially in relation to the given statement. So let's now continue. So most of this information, you will understand it better as we deal with exam type of questions. So remember, guys, these are just the basics of which I would like if each of you can understand fully these basics. So we are now moving to unit number 2. So in trigonometry, guys, ratio between sides are given certain names. Obviously, this part you also know. So unit 2, under unit 2, we are focusing on definitions of trigonometric ratios. What is a ratio, guys? A ratio is where you say something is to something. This is what we call a ratio. And again, a ratio can be represented as something over something. Do you guys agree with me on that one when I say 1 is to 2? This thing is the same as 1 over 2. Do you guys agree?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100%. So this is what we call a ratio. So in trigonometry, ratio between sides are given certain names. So let me also draw a triangle. Remember, guys, for today we are only focusing on this simple thing, which is a right angled triangle. So it shouldn't be complicated in any way. So that means we've got 2 angles there, we've got 2 angles there. My question to you guys before I continue, which one is hypotenuse?
AC.
Sir,
Maybe let me say 1, 2, 3. Which one is hypotenuse?
3, sir.
One, sir.
1, sir.
One, two.
Which one is hypotenuse, guys?
AC, sir.
Guys, which one is hypotenuse?
It's
AC,
AC.
sir.
Yes, sir.
100%. I'm very much happy. AC is hypotenuse. Which one is adjacent?
AB, sir.
Sir, we are not sure because they gave us 2 angles.
But sir, the 90-degree angle is given, and AC is opposite to the 90-degree angle.
The second, I'm not sure if it's Sia or Sia
Sure,
or
sir.
whoever. It's correct. You had to ask me a question to say adjacent to which angle. That's what you should ask me, because you are given 2 angles. So when you're given 2 angles, you need to know when you say which side is adjacent for which angle. That's the question that you should ask me. So Lerato, you cannot say AB or BC it's adjacent because you don't know for which angle. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Who asked me that question? The second guy who commented, who was it? Was it Sia or Sitle? Who was it?
It's me, sir.
Who?
Me, sir.
Who are you? Okay, me.
Sihle.
Sitle. Yes,
Yes, sir.
I wanted a name. So Sitle, you are right. You had to ask me that question. Then when I answer what you asked, I'm going to say as examiner, in triangle ABC, I'm talking about angle ABAC. Then which one is adjacent and which one is opposite? Or which side is adjacent, which side is opposite?
AB, sir,
AP is
BP,
adjacent.
sir.
and BC
100%,
opposite.
100%, 100%. Now I'm very much happy, guys. So can you see? You are now able to visualize that because of that statement, we are now talking about a triangle A, B, C still, but considering that angle over there. Can you now see the importance of saying in triangle ABC, but considering angle A? Does it make sense now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
100%. Only if you can understand that part, you will never get confused by the question. So now that you were able to tell me what is the adjacent for this triangle, here comes the question. Which side is opposite?
Opposite to which angle?
Which angle, sir?
Which angle, sir?
Ladies and gentlemen, silently clap your hands for yourself. I'm very, very much happy, ladies and gentlemen, that you now understand. So, guys, I'm talking about triangle A, B, and C. Can you please tell me which side is opposite for angle ACB? Which side
AP.
is opposite?
It's AB,
BC.
sir.
ABC.
Sir. AB.
So whoever who said BC, remember guys, so obviously we're talking about that triangle. The moment I do this, quickly, just draw that and say A, B, and C. Obviously this is 90 degrees. Then I'm talking about angle C. So that means I'm talking about angle theta. Then when I say which one is opposite, then you see a opposite is opposite to the angle. Therefore, you know this is opposite. Why? Because obviously this one is adjacent, this one is hypotenuse. Guys, only if you can understand this part, you will never, ever get it wrong. So I'm very much happy that you are getting there. Once you understand all of this, when I solve exam type of questions, you won't get lost, guys. You will fully understand. So you will see for someone who want a catch up and attend the next lesson, they will be confused and you will understand why. For some times, I'm going to be referring them to this lesson to firstly catch up, because otherwise, it will take much of time to re-explain all of this. So before I continue, guys, do you now see the importance of you having to catch up on previous lessons?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now in trigonometry, ratio between sides are given certain names. So when we say ratios, guys, we talk about that side is to maybe that side, or that side is to that side, or maybe that side is to whichever side. So, for example, we can say AB. You agree AB is a side, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we can say AB is to, let's say maybe BC. This thing, it has got a certain name. it's a ratio. And again, you know, AB, it can be written as AB over BC. It's a ratio. Again, we can have maybe, let's say, AC is to which side? Maybe AB. Maybe AB. This can still be written as AC over AB. You guys agree, isn't it? Which side again, guys? We can also have maybe BC is to which side? I'm not sure if we have done BC and AB. I think yes, BC and AB. It has a name. It can also be written as BC over AB. So I just wanted you to understand when we say ratios. And again, we are just going to quickly go through those names. So now, obviously, we know, guys, we've got what is it? We've got sine, we've got cos, we've got tan, isn't it? You are all aware of this name.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Sir.
let's define the sides using triangle BAC. So let's have a discussion in triangle A, B, and C with angle BAC. We are going to define the sides or the ratios. So in your mind, I'm sure you already know that this is the triangle that we are talking about. Alpha there, obviously, is A, B, and C. So can you see we are no longer considering that angle B. So what is sine alpha?
BC over
The
AC.
question is
BC over AC. So obviously is a, what is it? Opposite over hypotenuse. So you already know this part, isn't it?
according to the Sokatwa.
Yes, according to the
Yes.
Soccer. However, you crammed it, it's fine. So I'm very much happy. We won't be going too long on this one. So cos, which one? What is cos? What is the ratio for cos?
AB over AC.
P O
Up.
N C.
So what is
BC
it? Is
over AC.
wait, BC over AC.
AB over
E
AC.
over AC.
Over
Yes.
AC, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. So what about tan theta? Obviously, it's opposite over adjacent, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is what? Is
C over
BC
Over
over
AB.
AB. So all of us, we are on the same page on that one, isn't it?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay, 100%. So for now, let's leave it there and move on to the next part. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware of what we call the reciprocals of those three trigonometric ratios. So what we have just explained in terms of, let me just write it down over there to say sine, or maybe sine angle is equals to, what is it? Opposite over hypotenuse. And then a cos angle, we said, is adjacent over a hypotenuse. And then what else? We said tan angle is equals to opposite over a adjacent. So 1, 2, 3. Let's call them the three main trigonometric ratios. Did you get that, guys? Main trig ratios. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Sir.
that means going forward, every time when I say the main trig a ratio. I'm talking about sine, cos, tan, the ratio. We refer to it as the main trigonometric ratio. So, guys, did you say you are aware of the reciprocals, or are you aware of what we call the reciprocal? Did they teach you in class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100%. So, in short,
No, sir.
reciprocals
sir.
are inverse versions of each main ratio. So the inverse, guys, if you have 2 over 4, the inverse of this thing, you just take that one, write it to the top, this one you write it at the bottom. So that means the inverse is 4 over 2. Do you guys agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if you have x over y, the inverse of this thing, mathematically, you write it as y, the same thing, but to the exponent -1. This thing, again, is the inverse. And to further simplify it, this thing is y over x. So do you guys agree that if we have h over 7, the inverse or the reciprocal of this is h over 7 to the exponent -1. To further simplify this is the same as 7 over h. Does it make sense, that part?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100%. If it does make sense, let's now continue. So what is the reciprocal of sine angle? What is
Sir,
it
it's
called?
hypotenuse over opposite.
100%. So a is hypotenuse over, what is it? Opposite, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is the name of that?
Cosec.
Cosec, sir.
100%. So we call it cosec. What about a cos?
Cos.
Hypotenuse over
Over
adjacent.
hypotenuse over
Hypotenuse over
adjacent.
adjacent, and is called sec. Then that one is adjacent over opposite, which is being called cot. Do you guys agree with me on that one?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Sir.
100%. So now that you guys agree with me on that one, let's make a conclusion or a summary of all of that. Do you guys agree that since you said cosec, let's say maybe a cosec angle, is it true to say cosec angle is the same as 1 over sine angle? Is that true, guys? Or is it
Yes, sir.
something new?
Yes, sir.
It's true, sir.
So now that you're saying it's true, just remember, guys, always just know that if you say the reciprocal of sine is cosec, in short, it's more like you're saying cosec is the same as 1 over sine x. Similarly, if you see sec angle, just know this is the same as 1 over cos angle. Let's go to tan. If you see cot angle, that means this is the same as 1 over tan angle. Does it make sense to everyone?
Yes,
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 sir.
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 100%. So now let's move on to unit number 3. I'm just going to remove all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, would you say up to so far we are all on the same page and no one is lost?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. I'm very much happy that we are all on the same page. So now let's move to unit number 3. I just want to make you aware of something, guys. You know, in class or at school, what I'm teaching now, they might take a week to teach you all of this information. But when you have a tutor, we invest much of our time into summarizing things. So this is the strategy that I was using when I was in high school. So I wanted to spend much of my time in summarizing information. So if you've got a chapter which has got 10 pages, study that chapter in one day. Just read through that chapter. First day, read through without having to understand, so that you know the terminology used in that particular chapter. Read it the following day for the second time, where you write down some notes, especially where the information is written in bold or is being circled or is written within a block, and also write down those important information. Read it for the third time, where you try to read to understand. As soon as you are done, then check past exam papers versus the memo. Why would you need to check past papers and the memo? It's for you to understand exactly how questions are being asked in relation to that particular chapter. So guys, we've got a lot of textbooks written by different companies or individuals. So those textbooks, they are not really addressing how examiners ask questions. They are just helping you to have a background of whatever the information is all about. So the moment you study using past question papers, you are preparing yourself to answer exam type of questions. So that is where you must spend much of your time. So it's more like, for me, I used let's say a maximum of 4 days to study a textbook. Then for the rest of the year, I was using past exam papers, say maybe from 2009 up to 2021. That's all that I'll be doing. I'm no longer going back to textbook. So the question papers versus the memos, they will guide you in terms of how questions are asked and how you answer those questions. The moment you fail to understand the question and the memo, it means you need to go back to study the textbook again. But the moment you are able to understand these question papers and understand the memo, then it means you understood what you read in the textbook. Guys, did you fully understand that part?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So it's
Yes, sir.
just a tip from a personal experience. So you can try it, otherwise use whichever method that works for you. But one thing for sure, that's why in my channel I invest, or I'm mostly interested in solving past exam papers. That's why for physics and other subjects, what I'll be doing is just to give you the background of the chapter, then find someone to teach you on how to answer exam questions, so that you've got an experience from different perspectives. So guys, let's now move to unit number 3, where we focus on special triangles. So guys, are you hearing this for the first time? Special triangles.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No,
100%.
sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
okay, so when we talk about special angles, so whoever who's hearing this for the first time, don't worry, don't be surprised. These are just angles which are well known. It's as easy as that. It's more like, let's say, on Earth, we know we've got people, but there are those, let me just say, important people and not say special people. So people we have people in all 9 provinces, but we have important people. Who are those? For example, premiers, the president, whatever, guys. Those are important people, but at the end of the day, they are people, generally speaking. Similarly with the angles, we know in terms of angles, we've got a angle 0 up to what? Up to 360 degrees. But from angle 0 up to 360 degrees, in between, we've got special angles. So what are those special angles? So those special angles is 0, the first one. The second one is 30. Third one, 45 degrees. Fourth one, 60 degrees. And the last one is 90 degrees. So guys, these are what we call special angles. They are angles just like angle 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 270, 271, 359, and 360. They are all angles, but these are what we call special angles. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, 100%. So now that you know which ones are the special angles, we can therefore show these angles except for 0 degrees into triangles. So I'm just going to show you guys those angles. So let's say we've got angle 45 degrees there. If we have 90 degrees there, what is that angle, guys? Is there someone who wants to guess what is that angle?
Yes, it's 45 degrees.
45 degrees.
100%. So this is also 45 degrees. So if we have 45 degrees there, obviously this side is 1, this side is 1, and what is that side there?
Square root of 2.
Okay, so this is how you can calculate it, guys. Remember, I'm not sure if you guys remember Theorem of Pythagoras. Do you still remember this thing, guys? X squared plus y squared is equals to what? Is equals to r squared. So it's more like adjacent squared plus opposite squared is equals to hypotenuse squared. Do you still remember this formula, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
So to like
So
find the
hypotenuse. So that means if we have 45 degrees and 45 degrees angle over there, so for us to calculate the hypotenuse, Sihle, you just need to work out or perform that calculation using either 45 or this 45. So for example, you can find out what is hypotenuse maybe using this 45 there. So if you already know you've got 1, 1, then you can use Theorem of Pythagoras to calculate what is hypotenuse, which is 1 squared plus 1 squared. It's going to be equals to r squared or hypotenuse squared. So what is this, guys? This is 2. What is that? 2a squared. So for you to remove that h, you introduce a square root. So that means hypotenuse is equals to square root of 2. So that is why someone said in this case hypotenuse is square root of 2. Did that make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
yes,
Okay, so in terms of special angles, guys, they they don't change. If you have two special angles, you will always have one as adjacent, one is opposite, square root of 2 as hypotenuse. That's if your inside angles is 45 and also that one is 45. So that angle we know it's 90 degrees. So let's also see when we've got two more special angles. So if we have 30 degrees there and we have 90 degrees there, what is that angle there?
30 degrees.
What is it?
30 degrees.
It's 60 degrees.
30 degrees.
I think it's 60.
Guys, remember, there's some, what do they say? The interior angles of a triangle must add up to 180. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
So if this is 90 and this is 30, whatever that remains, it must be a number whereby when you say that number plus 30 plus 90 gives you 90 degrees. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So
60.
that means this is 60 degrees. So always for a triangle where you have 30 degrees and 90 degrees, adjacent is always one. Adjacent to that is always 1. And then opposite to that is a square root of 3. And then hypotenuse is 2. So don't stress that much when it comes to these special angles, guys. Just know it would be very much interesting for you guys to be able to know this by heart. But as time goes on, you will understand fully why you need to understand the special angle. So can you see with these two triangles, we have actually shown these angles using these two triangles. For the angle of 30 degrees, there is that 30 degrees. For angle of 45 degrees, there is that 45. For angle of 60 is that one there. For angle of 90, this is that angle of 90. So for 0, not necessary to represent. So guys, this is something that you should just know by heart. No need to stress that much, no need to worry that much, but you just need to know that these are the special angles. What makes it to be special angle is because, let's say for example, if you have that triangle where it's 60 there and 90 degrees, you will still have this a square root of 3, that is 2, this as 1. And again, for the same triangle with 90 degrees, but where you have 30 there, you will still have that as square root of 3, that is 2, that as 1. So that's what makes it to be special. So again, when you have 45 there, this side will always be 1, that side will always be 1. Otherwise, if you have that angle there and not there, this will still be 1, that will still be 1, and this will always be square root of 2. Does it make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now that it makes sense and you agree, if we want to, I'm just not sure if I should remove all of this. So maybe let me just take this one away and explain using this. Let's see. So this ratio, guys, formed by each of this special angle. Let's show it on a table. Let's say if we've got, or maybe for sine angle, what I want to explain is that table that I sent in the group. Maybe let me firstly try to draw. Let's see. I think we might as well just use a calculator, guys. It's on degrees. I think let's just use a calculator. Otherwise, let me say sine angle, cos angle. I just want to explain that table that I sent in the group. And let me do that and do that and say, and maybe do that. and say we've got a angle. Guys, just get your calculators ready and make sure that your calculator is in what? Is there someone who wants to give us that special tip that you should never forget when you write a paper 2 of mathematics?
I think so. We must set our calculators to degree mode.
1, 2, 3. That's a very, very powerful tip, guys. Did you hear what she said?
Yes, sir.
Can you please repeat?
We must always set our calculator to degree mode.
Lerato, you are very far from your mic. Can you try to speak louder or maybe closer to your mic?
We must always set our calculators to degree mode.
So guys, the mode on your calculator should always be in degrees, especially when you're doing this chapter of trigonometry. Did you hear that, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are the special angles. I hope you remember, guys. These are the special angles. You remember this part, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So let's punch sine the first angle and tell me what you get. What are you getting?
0, sir.
100%. So we are getting 0. Sine second angle,
Half.
100%. Sine that,
Square root or 2 over 2.
square root of 2 over 2. Let's do cos. What is cos 60? So you are going to then test all of those and check if you find the same that I sent in the group. So what is cos 60?
Cos
1
6
over 2.
half, sir.
Cos 90?
It's
0.
0, sir.
So what is tan 45?
1, sir.
What is tan 90?
Undefined.
Undefined, 100%. So guys, I hope you fully understood that part. So now let's move to unit number 4. After unit number 4, we are going to wrap up the last unit, which is unit number 5. So someone remember to mute your mic. I think it's Vuyo. Vuyo, remember to mute your mic so that we don't get disturbed by the background noise. Vuyo, Vuyo, Vuyo. Vuyo 5, Vuyo 4, Vuyo 3, Vuyo 1. Vuyo, can you mute your mic? I'll just have to mute Vuyo from my side, but it's unfortunate she won't be able to communicate. So the disadvantage of that is if you've got a question, you won't be able to ask the question because you are muted from my side. So ladies and gentlemen, let's now move to unit number 3. So ladies and gentlemen, do you think up to this this
Unit
point,
number 4, sir.
thanks very much for that. Thanks very much for that, guys. It really shows that we are together. So I wanted to say, guys, is there someone who has learned something new so far up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So, this is an example that we'll be looking at. So, this is us using a calculator. So, you are given a triangle, which is triangle PQR. It has sides. What are those sides? It's 12 centimeter, is 4 centimeter. So they say find that. This is number one. Number two, find that. So I'm just going to be asking you guys questions. What are you seeing there? Just mention your name. I will choose. Who can give us a or maybe, let's say a presentation of what you are seeing over there. So it's more like you are telling us, this is Sitle. You can see he's wearing uniform. His shoes are shining. What is it? He has combed his hair, and again, he has tucked in. He's on time for today's lesson, whatever. So guys, just mention your name and I will choose. So for those that I haven't chosen, just listen very carefully and make sure that whatever that they did not include, when I choose your name, you include whatever that you think is missing. So this is us trying to learn how to interpret a given statement together with the question. So this is what you're going to interpret, and again, this is what you're going to interpret. Guys, just mention your name if you want to participate in this. But before you do that, I want to tell you guys a secret. The reason why I got so many distinctions, and it was a surprise to everyone. The reason to that is because I made more mistakes than everyone in my school. I don't think in my high school there's ever a learner who has ever made as many mistakes as I did. And the reason to that, I was so consistent in making mistakes. The reason to that is because I was trying to eliminate as many possibilities as possible for me to make a mistake in an exam. Or let me say, I did not want to experience a very unique type of a mistake in exam room, because I knew if that happens, it's going to derail my progress, and again, it's going to serve as a distraction. So guys, in short, what I'm saying is be proud of making mistakes. Make those mistakes, because you will never forget once you were corrected from a mistake that you thought it was correct. So make sure to make those mistakes, participate, be ready to be corrected, because once you are corrected by someone, especially a stranger, you will never forget that there was this guy in this lesson who mentioned something of which it was a complete opposite of what I thought. If you come across that similar mistake in exam, you will never forget, guys. So in short, I'm saying, try to make as many mistakes as possible than everyone else in this group. Participate in every game which is being presented in this group. Reason to that is because with you participating, it helps you when you get to varsity to engage in online lessons. It helps you again as an individual to grow your confidence. So guys, are you happy with all that I've said? And again, are you up for the game?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So who's ready for the game? Your name. Guys, Anyone available to play this game?
Yes, sir.
We must find
Yes.
angle P.
No. Remember, guys. So that means every time when we're playing a game, in case if you want to participate, you just mention your name. Then I will choose one. When they are done, I will select the next one to add on to the information that will be given. So who's available for the game?
Lerato, sir.
Communication, sir.
The second lady, who was it? Go for it. Who's the second lady who mentioned their name? Okay, Karabo, go for it. Just tell us what you know or what you can see or what you can tell us based on 1, 2. Karabo gone. Who else? Lerato, I think you mentioned your name. Go for it. Just make sure you are audible.
Sir, I see a right-angled triangle with one unknown side and two unknown angles, and we are required to find angle of P that is represented by P and the angle represented by R.
100%. Anyone to add on to that before I continue? Okay, so Lerato, thanks. Someone wanted to say something?
Sir.
Yes, go for it.
No, sir, I'm satisfied.
Okay, 100%. So, Lerato, I'm also satisfied. We've got a right-angled triangle because of that, and we've got two known sides with one unknown side, and you are required to find angle P and again to find angle R. So, this thing, guys, it's very, very much important in a sense that it tells you exactly what they want you to find. So, let's now use those ratios. Let's use those ratios to find what the question wants us to find. So, guys, how can we find angle P?
So,
Mm-hmm.
so you can say that sin P is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, which is 4 over 12.
100%. So, for someone who forgot how to formulate, remember the moment we are talking about angle P, then you just need to redraw that in your mind. You can just redraw that in your mind. So we've got 4 centimeter, we've got 12 centimeter. So this is the angle that they are talking about, which means you therefore need that formula that has hypotenuse and what is it? Opposite. So that is why Shreya says we are going to say sine angle P. Can you see how to write it? This is equals to, we know is opposite over hypotenuse. So what is opposite? He said is 4. What is hypotenuse? He said is 12. You therefore say second function of that ratio. Then that gives you the angle. So can you see, guys? This is the ratio. Okay? This is the ratio, guys. This is the ratio. So you equated that to to the ratio. Then you say second function of that ratio, whatever that you get is an angle. So that means it has to be in degrees. So what is that angle, guys?
19,47 degrees.
So it's getting 19,47 degrees. Did we all get the same angle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm giving you homework number 2. So remember, guys, it helps a lot when I give you this homework. Okay, there's a question. Go for it.
So when we move to two, if we get commas, do we move to 2 decimal or should we let it go like that?
Okay, so I think this still applies. If they did not specify to say to the nearest correct one or whatever, round it to 2 decimal places. Does this thing still apply, guys? Even now in 2022, where they say if they don't specify, round it to 2 decimal places.
Okay, sir.
100%. So, ladies and gentlemen, if it was not specified to say round it off to 1 decimal place, 3 decimal place, or to the nearest, then round it to 2. Do we all agree, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
100%. So my homework, which is going to be homework number 2, tell me what is that? And again, use 2 or more possible methods to tell me what is that. For example, if you use a theorem of Pythagoras, it's fine, use it. If you can still use that angle that you calculated, use it. If you can use that angle that you calculated, use it. So there are 3 possible ways. I think it's, let's say, 3 or more possible ways in which you can tell what is that side. So a comment in the group to say PQ is whatever, and this is the method that you used. So it doesn't matter if you also send an image where you show your calculations. Do you guys understand what is required of you to do as part of homework number 2?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So the reason why sometimes I give you these homeworks is just so that I'm able to tell if you guys understand instructions. So it's very, very much important that you understand instructions, guys. If I say in the group, raise your hand if you attended the lesson. Don't say I attended the lesson. You just raise your hand. That is the instruction. If I say mute your mic, you just mute your mic. That is an instruction. If you unmute it, it means you are not following an instruction posture. So what I'm going to do is to mute from my side, and you will never be able to comment. Thanks very much, Portia, for muting your mic. So remember, guys, always mute your mic so that you are able to participate throughout the lesson. So, guys, very, very much important that you listen very carefully and you follow instructions. Again, I'm not telling you why I keep on saying comment, follow my instructions and everything. There will be a time where you will see the benefits of why I need you guys to engage in the group. So, is there someone who wants to then guess how do we find that? Shreyas, you got it right. You can now give the others an opportunity to also give it a try. Anyone who wants to give it a try, you can just mention your name. I'll just give you a go ahead.
Lerato, sir.
Lerato,
Okay.
go for it.
What if I say that are we using
Hold on,
the
Lerato.
trig ratios?
Yes, we are still using the trig ratios.
So I'll then say I'm using sine. What if I say opposite over hypotenuse?
What if I say sine r is equals to opposite over hypotenuse? So tell me what to substitute,
Yes,
Portia.
then I say 4 over 12.
Mm-hmm.
Sine r equals to 4 over 12. Then r is equals to second function of sine into 4 over 12.
All of that. Is it correct, guys?
No, sir.
So, Portia, someone says no. So the first thing that you need to do, Portia, is to redraw that triangle. So you have to redraw that triangle and make that angle there, which you can call it maybe theta, or let's say angle R. So we'll just say R and make that cap there. So can you see, Portia, we've got 4 centimeter there, we've got 12 centimeter there. So Portia, give it a try for the last time.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sir.
Who
see
is
cos.
Onwa? Wait, Sike, is it Onwa or who's this? Honor something. You wanted to give it a try. Okay, Sike, wait, Sike, Honor, go for it.
Oh, I was trying, sir.
Yes, go for it.
But say that you have placed the question mark on the PQ line. That's the main reason I said that we must use sine.
Wait.
Sir, can I?
What did I do, guys? Did I confuse Portia? I'm not sure if I'm the one who made a mistake, but I wanted to say let's find the second answer, which is find angle R. Go for it, Portia. If I made a mistake, I'll just check this lesson again, but it's fine. Let's now answer question number 2. Go for it. Sitle, go for it.
So we can say cos R is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse.
Mm-hmm.
Which is 4 over 12.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer, sir.
This is the answer, ne?
1 over 3.
What is 1 over 3?
It's R, sir.
Like that, ne?
No. No, sir.
Whoever said no, go for it. Just flow until you take us to the final answer. I'll just be writing. Just flow.
But say, I was confused because the line Q was placed a question mark. That's the main reason I got confused.
Oh, okay. No. Who was it? Portia? Sorry about that. So, we are now on number 2, where we want to solve number 2. So let's maybe give someone an opportunity to just take us through until we get to the final answer. Lerat, go for it.
So it's cos of r
Cos
is
of
equal
angle R, ne?
yes equal to 4 over 12.
What is 4 over 12, Lerat?
4 over 12 is 1 over 3. So then second function cos of 1 over 3. Then it's 70 comma something.
So what is that?
It's 70 comma 53. So
Like that, ne?
yes, degrees.
Degrees, 100%. So guys, be careful. It's not 70,53. It's 70,53 degrees. Why? Because we are calculating angle R. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure that you don't forget that degrees. So guys, we now move to our last part for today's lesson. So did everyone get that part? But I think if you take your time and watch this video again, I hope you guys will use this lesson to just refresh. I think it's been a very fruitful lesson, and I would encourage all of you guys to watch it again. If you watch it again and you develop some more questions, you are welcome to ask me those questions. But if you don't watch it and ask the questions which are answered in this lesson, I won't be encouraged to spend much of my time in explaining to you because I'll be discouraged, guys. Make sure that it's either you understand in this lesson or otherwise you catch up and say, I visited that lesson again. I was catching up at time 15, let's say 15:30. This is the time where you want clarity. Then I'm also going to go back to that lesson and fast forward up to this time and check what exactly what you are talking about. Then in that way, I'm able to easily help you. But if you just say, how did you explain sine BC over something? I can't remember. One thing for sure, I won't remember which part it is. But when you ask a question, make use of the time as reference to say, on this video, you can send me a link at time maybe 13, 14. You were explaining this thing and it did not make sense, and this is the part which I didn't understand. Then I'll easily explain. So guys, unit number 5, solving trigonometric equations. I'm glad you already know all of this information, guys. You already know all of this information, and I won't spend a lot of time on this one. So, guys, make sure to practice this to say okay, this is C, this is B, and say small letter A, small letter B, maybe small letter C. Maybe let's say this is what is it? Theta, and this is alpha. So under unit 5, I've given you guys tools to solve right-angled triangle. The first tool is what we call Theorem of Pythagoras. So when we use that information, is that a question? Okay.
How does theta and alpha differ?
The difference between alpha and beta is because they are not the same angles, or they are not equal angles. I'll give you an example. Let's say maybe we have this thing, there's an angle. The moment they say beta there, and maybe they say a alpha there, it means that angle it could be 30 degrees, it could be 70, it could be 81, it could be any number. So that one is a different angle from that one. So it could be whatever 17 degrees, whatever 90. But the moment you have a right angle triangle, then it's alpha and it's alpha. You know this is 45, this is 45. So that is the difference. I'm not sure if I've answered that question, guys. And again, the reason why we have alpha and theta there is because in this triangle, we can talk about that angle theta to say in angle theta where we've got 90 degrees. Then we can calculate these sides using that angle. Or otherwise, we can still use a angle alpha on the same triangle to calculate these sides. So when a triangle is represented in that way, just know it's 2 in 1. What do I mean when I say is 2 in 1? It's because it's triangle number 1 with angle theta, and again is triangle number 2 with alpha. So when an angle is represented like that way, you've got 2 angles. Just know it's 2 triangles in 1. So for it not to confuse you guys, you can draw separate triangles, put an angle there and put an angle there, and make sure those letters are the same for both of the triangles. Did I answer your question, Madam Speaker?
Sir.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that was yes, ne? Because remember, guys, just make sure you completely unmute and make a comment. If you comment before you unmute, I only hear say, then it sounds as if you want to ask your question again. So I was saying the first tool is Theorem of Pythagoras, whereby you know that Theorem of Pythagoras will help us to calculate that side. So that means is this side plus that side is going to give us that side. So it's a squared plus b squared is going to give us c squared. Does it make sense, that part, guys?
Sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Say,
Okay. Yes.
what if I put it in my way, not in that way? I said c squared is equals to a squared plus b squared. It's correct, right?
Is correct, right? Is correct, right? Full stop. So, ladies and gentlemen, what she's asking is that a 2 is equals to x. This is the same as x is equals to 2. Is correct, right?
Sir.
Yes.
100%. So
Yes,
it
sir.
doesn't matter whether you say that is equals to that or that is equals to that. 100%. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's now continue. So, in terms of sign, a sign, you can say sine angle A is equals to a B over C. And again, if you are calculating angle B, is going to be A over C. Does it make sense to everyone what I've just written over there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm confused.
Okay, so the reason why you are confused is because you now need to study how to separate the 2 in 1 triangle. So we've got A, B, it's C there. So remember the one who says they are confused. I'm just not sure if you attended the lesson from the beginning, but it's fine. Remember to watch it again so that you fully understand. So this is the same triangle, but now we've got angle theta there, and again we've got angle alpha there. So this triangle represents two of these triangles. So in this case, what I'm doing now, I'm saying on this triangle, if we are calculating angle A, then it means you focus on that triangle. So it's more like in your mind, just take it as if that angle doesn't exist if we are trying to calculate angle A using sine. Then, if we are calculating angle B using sine, then this is the ratio because we assume that it's not there, or you look at that triangle. Does it make sense to everyone?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So for cosine, if we use cos to calculate angle A, do you agree that we've got, what is it? Is it, wait. Am I doing it
Sir,
correctly, guys?
for sine, you made a mistake. For sine.
Yes.
So it's
Can
supposed
you,
to be A over C, sir, for sine A.
100%. So do you guys notice that mistake? Does everyone notice that mistake?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Also, that one, it means it needs to be
For
adjusted. Is
side B, the answer is
or is it fine?
incorrect.
It's B over C.
It's B over C.
100%. So it's B over C. So it should make a perfect sense, especially when we refer to those separated triangles over there. So this is a confirmation that even if myself, I do understand these things, but I can still be confused if I only rely on that single triangle, because it's a bit confusing, just like the other one commented to say it's confusing. So just try to separate the triangles so that it's easy. So someone would agree with me that we normally fail this chapter because of mistakes, and you can only eliminate mistakes by studying more. So guys, let's now continue. What about cos A? Cos A obviously is going to be what? Remember, this is B, this is C, this is A, this is C, this is B, this is A. So in terms of cos angle A, then we look at the first triangle, then it's adjacent over hypotenuse, which is B over C. I'm not sure if you guys agree with me on that one. Then in terms of cos angle B, we are focusing there. Cos is A over C. Do you guys agree with me on that one?
Sir, for
Yes,
sine
sir.
angle.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Someone, yes?
it's not cos of angle B, there it's sine of angle B. For A over C, sir.
For A over C, you're on that one, eh?
Oh, sir, I see, I can say. It's
Okay,
me, I don't
so
exist.
tangent then is going to be tan A is going to be equals to, let's see, for tan angle A, we are focusing on that triangle. Let's say triangle number 1 and call this one triangle number 2. So this is a 2 in 1. Just be aware of that. So let's see. There in terms of tan, what are we having? We have opposite. Opposite is what? Is A over adjacent, which is B. So is it A over B? Do you guys agree with me on that one?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
there
sir.
we are having tan opposite is B over A is B over A. I'm not sure if you guys agree with me on that one.
Yes, sir.
Ava,
Eh?
it's A over B.
Remember, tan is opposite of adjacent. Ne.
Yes, for triangle too.
So,
It's
which one is opposite?
No, for triangle number 2, it's opposite over adjacent, right? It's correct.
Yes. So, Lerato, are we still on the same page?
no,
Remember, we are
sir.
there.
To the first triangle, I did not notice.
Okay, so now we are on the same page, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So, guys, this brings us to the end of our lesson for today, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. So, guys, this was my very first time enjoying this chapter of trigonometry. It has always intimidated me, but I took my time to study this chapter, make some notes, and I think you notice how powerful these notes are. Please make sure to use these notes. Use these notes, and again, in case if you get confused, I'm going to make this lesson available online. Please make sure to catch up on this lesson. And most importantly, guys, make sure you do not miss any of my lessons. But if you do, it's still fine. But just make sure that when you miss my lessons is because you've got some agent stuff to attend to, but what matters the most is for you to catch up, guys. You are allowed to skip some lessons, but most importantly, make sure to catch up. So the challenge with you catching up, it might be that in case if you develop some questions, you might not get an instant response. But one thing for sure, when you catch up, if you can just do as I say, just make sure that you reference to time, or otherwise preferably when you're watching the lesson on YouTube, guys, just make sure to comment on YouTube, because it instantly gives me a message that I'm going to notice who's asking a question. Then I'm going to then give you an agent attention. So if you watch it and ask me via inbox, either on Telegram or WhatsApp, I might take forever to respond because I get a lot of inboxes every day. That's why it's easy for me to communicate via the group and again via WhatsApp status. So in case if you want my agent attention, especially when you catch up, just comment on YouTube. It's going to give me a message instantly because the comments are not many there. Then I'll be able to easily attend to your questions. Guys, did you all enjoy today's lesson, or is there someone who's still wondering what we were doing in today's lesson?
100%, sir.
I enjoyed today's
Say.
lesson, sir.
Okay, so guys, I've also enjoyed the lesson myself. So please make sure that you don't miss the next lesson. So all that I've explained, these are the basics that all of you guys needed to know. You might be in grade 11 or grade 12, but you still need this basic. So this was grade 10 stuff. So as we continue, we'll be doing some more complex stuff. And again, you just need to make sure that even if you are in lower grades, you still understand. And one thing for sure, you will understand. But just make sure that you stick to your level. I'm going to post question papers in that channel. I hope everyone has got a link to a channel where I post question papers. Sometimes just go through, open one question paper, check the questions and everything. So guys, thanks very much for joining. Remember to just raise your hand if you enjoyed the lesson in the group. And again, make sure to do that homework. One thing for sure, tomorrow we might be having a lesson. I'll just check. I'm still preparing the new tutor. Once he's ready, he's going to join and participate, and we'll see how far it goes. So the aim is to have 2 lessons per day. So guys, thanks very much for joining, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.